do a quick recap. And how are you all? All good? Okay, shall we do a quick recap of yesterday? We started with definitions, correct? So we started with definition of and then what did we learn? What is microeconomics and what is macroeconomics? Then so we gave names also. There is another name for microeconomics, price theory. The other name for macroeconomics, income and employment theory. What was next? Circular flow of income. That is what we learned. So when we learned circular flow, how many sectors did we consider in this? Which are the four sectors? Government, factors of production, right? Did we discuss factors of production yesterday? Yes. What are the factors of production? Land, labor, capital, and entrepreneurship. And which capital are we considering here? Financial capital. We are talking mostly about financial capital. What is the next thing we learned? Types of economies. What are the different types of economies? Market and non-market. These are the major ones. We are yet to discuss the third type, which is the mixed type. We are yet to discuss it. Market economies. What is it we learned about that? So mostly it is a capitalistic or capitalist system. What are the features of this system? Key features: private sector, profit oriented. Yes. What is it? Self-correcting nature. So there is no need of intervention. What is the word? What is the term? A foreign term. How do you say it? We say laissez-faire. Okay? Laissez-faire. Okay? Non-intervention. Right? What is the next thing we learned? It was non-market. And who is the person who is responsible for this system, or who is the proponent of this system? Adam Smith. We did the criticism as well for this system. Correct? So what was the criticism? Inequalities, cartelization, and predatory pricing, and exploitation of labor as well as natural resources, human resources and natural resources. What is next? Non-market. Here you have two kinds. So the other name for non-market, command or state. You have two types here, socialist and communist. We saw the differences as well. Yes. What is the major difference between socialist and communist? Socialist, community owned. Factors of production are owned by the community. Yet labor is private. Whereas communist, everything owned by the state. That is, the government owns everything. Done. And when it comes to what else did we discuss? Is that all? Example for socialist, erstwhile USSR, communist, China, right? And we also drew a compass as to where the economies are located as of now, right? A rough idea. Okay. Can you today tell, is there any economy which is completely capitalistic, completely socialistic? Is there any economy like that? Not even a single economy. Even North Korea, right? We can't put it exactly on what? Communist. Complete communist, we can't put it. Why? Because it also does some trade with whom? Other countries, right? It also does some trade with other countries. Private property to some extent will exist. In this aspect, see, nothing in this world is absolutely perfect. We have that compass. It is a continuum on that, done. And what is it we were discussing? Further, we were actually discussing something. Today we were supposed to, okay, we were supposed to start with left and right wing, what it means, right? You will be learning this ideologies in detail when we go into ethics. There is a separate topic called as political attitudes. When we speak about political attitudes, we also speak about political ideologies. There we will be dealing in detail, right? Here, for now, we'll just have an idea as to what left, right, and center is. Left, right, center. What is the ideology? Left. What is a left ideology? Anybody has an idea what a left ideology is? Liberalism. Okay. Anything else? Anything else? See, very simple. Against the system. See, these people are the ones who believe that the present system is actually useless. The present system is useless. What we need to do is we have to bring systemic change. Remember, not systematic change. It is a systemic change. They want to bring a systemic change. What is a systemic change? Complete overhaul of the system. Change the entire system. Only then development is possible. Only then progress is possible, according to these people. So they don't believe in present system. They want to make a big change. The right, they are like, the earlier system was better. The present system is bad. What is it we have to do? Go back to the older system, which was better. Understood? So present system is ruined. We have to go back to the earlier system. The earlier systems were better. This is right thinking. And what is centrist thought? These are status quoists. What is status quoist? What is at present is good enough. Which means, do we not progress at all? There are problems. We agree there are problems. But whatever changes we are going to make the changes to the system itself, in the system itself. They talk about progressive changes, gradual progressive changes. This is status quo. Clear? Now, where do we put the political parties in India? See, if you ask me, sir, what about can we place all the political parties here? It's very difficult. We can place only 2 political parties on this line. Which are the 2 political parties? Congress and BJP. Congress, we put it where? here. Center left. They are center, but left leaning. Center right, BJP. They're not here. And these people are not here. CPI, on the other hand, Communist Party of India, right? CPIM. Where do you put it? You put it here. Almost left, not extreme. Right? Communist Party. You put it here. Sir, then these people do not believe in the system, then why are they contesting the election? That is also there. They think that we will first win the elections, we'll win the trust of the people, then make the change in the system completely. On the other hand, if you take it a bit beyond this, when you find extremism, they are ready to use violent methods. This is where Naxalism comes. Naxals. They are ready to use what? Extreme violent methods to bring change. As a political party, however, they can't be extreme. What they do is, we'll be a part of the system, we'll bring the change later on. So this is how it is stacked. The parties are stacked, and this is the meaning of left, right, and center. Clear? Now, communism, and they have their own ideology, thought processes. When you are at the center, you believe in what? What is there? It is good. When you move left, right, it becomes more and more liberal. Only to some extent. If you move extremely, it becomes authoritarian. Right? Is liberalism not possible on this side? We call it as conservatism. Look at this. One side it is liberalism. If you cross the band, this one, if you cross the band, it will no longer be liberalism. It will become authoritarianism. On this side, conservatism is possible. Till after that, it also becomes extreme. Right? Now, what about other political parties in India? You have various, so many regional parties are there. So thousands of parties are there in India. Where do you put them? See, BJP and Congress, you are able to put. Can you place them somewhere? Where? Which other political parties do you know? Tell me. So in Karnataka, there is something called as JDS. And then what else? Aam Aadmi Party is there. What else? Shiv Sena is there. DMK is there. AIA DMK is there. SP is there. BSP is there. Okay. JDU is there. Where do you place these parties? The problem with placing these parties is very, very difficult. You know, it is very difficult. Why? If I put, by chance, if I put JDS here, see, Janata Dal secular it is, which means it is somewhat liberal. So I have to place it here. It is a JDS, Janata Dal secular. So it is a left-leaning party, right? In fact, they were a part of the socialist movement earlier to start with. However, they have joined hands with whom now? Which means they are here. Correct. Regional parties are difficult to be placed on this continuum. Only national parties can be placed on this continuum. Why? Because they always stick to their positions on various issues. Clear? Okay. Next. In other countries, it is not a problem. Why is it not a problem in other countries? There usually are only two major parties. There are no small parties at all. In some other countries, it is much more easier for them. What they do? Countries like China, North Korea, what they do? Other parties can contest elections. Okay, but after winning, you have to join my party. Very simple. In China, that is how it is done. You want a separate political party, you form a political party. You want to contest elections, contest elections. But after you win, your political party will be affiliated to Communist Party of China. That's all. Right? Election bhi ho gaya. They have won also. And there is no opposition also. Understood? Okay. This is about what? Ideologies. What was the next thing? I think we were supposed to discuss something related to Great Depression. Okay. Right. 1929 is the year. What happened in 1929? Why did this discussion come up with us? Failure of capitalist system, pure capitalist system. Why did it fail? This was the idea. What is the major criticism of capitalism? Inequalities will rise. Rich become richer, poor become poorer. This was the idea. Let's suppose there is a capitalist, set of capitalists who are producing goods and services. These have to be purchased, right? They have to be brought. Basically, demand must be there. Only when demand is generated, the prices will be rising. Only if the prices are there and demand is being generated, can there be profits. Only if there are profits, capitalists will make further investment. Investment will rise, and when investment rises, more goods and services. This is a cycle. This we call it as a virtuous cycle. What is it? What type of cycle is it? It is a virtuous cycle. It is a good cycle. Virtuous. Virtue. Issue is when what happens? Profit becomes the only motive, and people who are going to work do not get enough wages. Will they have enough money to demand? See, you tell me, in a firm, in a economy, will there be more people who manufacture or will there be more people who buy? Buyers will be more. And goods and services, production is happening. They have made investment, they are producing. But demand is not increasing. Why is the demand not increasing? Because they don't have enough income. Why is it they're not getting enough income? Because profit is being taken up by the capitalists. Supply increased, but demand is not there. Demand is not there, which means prices will drop. When the prices drop, profits drop. When the profits drop, no further investment. Job losses. Now that becomes a vicious cycle. The opposite of it. Based on vices, right? It is a vicious cycle. So over the years, what happened in USA? Rich became richer, as in capitalists were making investments, but they were not giving enough wages. Exploitation of labor was happening. They used to work for long hours, but still they did not have enough money to buy the goods. But they were producing a lot of goods. Now, with this, what happens? Overall, what? Goods and services would drop. Demand drops. See, a capitalist is going to produce only when he sees demand. The moment he sees no demand, he is going to cut down production. Less investment, less production, means less jobs also. So what are all the things? Jobs gone, demand gone, because of which income is also gone. No employment, no income, no demand. This became a vicious cycle. When this situation continues, right, our national income will fall. So what is that national income? We'll learn in the next chapter. If this problem continues for a long time, right, 4 consecutive quarters, if it continues, then we say it is a depression. We'll give a proper definition for depression. This situation came in 1929. Now, what is the solution to this? What is the solution to this? Everybody was telling Adam Smith and his followers were of the opinion, don't worry, leave it as it is. It will correct. It will correct itself. How will it correct itself? Because it is in the system itself. What system? Capitalist system. It has self-correcting nature. But they waited, it did not correct. Things were getting worse. Now came the person who? John Maynard Keynes. And he said, this is not how you are going to leave the system. It is going to ruin the livelihood of people. People are going to die. You have to do something about it. Now, John Maynard Keynes, J.M. Keynes, made certain suggestions. What are we supposed to do? What are we supposed to do? We are supposed to somehow regulate the system. Some sort of regulation needs to be there in the system. Government intervention must be there. Government intervention must be there. How will the government intervene? It will intervene in different ways. What different ways? Government will provide the basic needs of the people. Government will provide at least some basic needs of the people. And wherever the private sector is exploiting, government will put brakes on it. Okay. So, government will start spending money. Government spends money. With this, what happens? People will have more what? Disposable income. People will have more disposable income. If government starts spending money, it will ultimately reach the hands of the people. They'll have more disposable income. In what form does it spend? He said, in 2 ways the government can spend. One is in the form of subsidies. The government can provide some subsidies. 2, the government can also build infrastructure. The government can build infrastructure so that new people can make investments. It becomes easier for now new people to make investments if infrastructure is already present. Competition will come up now, right? And then what is the next thing? The government will do some regulation. Regulation on what front? So that exploitation does not happen. Competition is clean. The market is competitive enough. I'm telling you in simple terms. So these 2 interventions, if the government makes, private sector, let it exist. But these 2 things government has to do, so that people will be able to get some extra money in their hands. They will start demand. Once the demand increases, capitalists will now make investments further. New jobs will be created. Right? This is like a stimulus. What is it? It is like a stimulus to the entire system. Who is providing it? Government is providing it. That is why we call it as fiscal stimulus. Fiscal as in from the government side, fiscal stimulus. This is what fiscal stimulus is all about. So every time you see, jobs are falling or growth is falling, what will the government do? Government will come up with some measures so that demand increases. All those measures taken by the government to push the demand in the system is fiscal stimulus itself. We have used it after COVID-19 as well. After the what? After the recession as well. Understood? So in simple terms, this is the meaning. The moment demand picks up, all your problems are solved. Clear? So when the demand picks up, inflation will be there or will not be there. So whenever demand picks up, it means more people are asking for what? Goods and services. It means prices also will start to increase. That is why we always say inflation and growth are coupled. They are always coupled. They are always coupled. Right? You will be learning about this in more detail in your business cycle chapter. In more detail in business cycle chapter. This is not a related topic to the chapter we are discussing. I just brought in here just because I had to make a mention of it. What is the next thing? We had to discuss one more thing. 2008 recession. What was this recession? That was depression. Worst days for 1 year. That was that. This is worst days for 6 months. That's all. Worst days for 6 months. After that, if you recover, it is a recession. If worst days are for 1 year and beyond, then it is a depression. Yeah. So what happened in the 2008 recession? The other name for this is the Great Recession. So now, after whatever John Maynard Keynes told, after USA implemented it, they were able to come out of the problem. They were able to come out of depression. When you look at it closely, capitalist system they were following properly, because of which exploitation was there, inequalities increased, all those problems were there. After they adopted what Keynes told, they were able to come out of the problem. When you look at what Keynes suggested, don't you think whatever Keynes was suggesting was something related to non-market system? Yes or no? Clear? Can we now safely say that USA after 1929 is slightly a mixed system? Agreed? Before 1929, USA was mostly a capitalist system. Now it is not completely a capitalist system. It is a mixed system with a capitalist tilt. This is what we say. What do we say? It's a mixed system with a capitalist tilt. Significant capitalist. Understood? Now, Great Recession. What happened in Great Recession? The other name for this is subprime crisis. We also call it as subprime crisis. The key word is subprime. Subprime. Who are the prime customers of a bank? Who are the prime customers of a bank? Customers who can be trusted. This is the prime customers. Subprime means not so trustworthy customers. Clear? Subprime means not so trustworthy customers. The crisis is about that itself. Subprime crisis. What happened in USA? This is also in USA. And it had ripple effects all over the world. See, remember, anything that happens in any country today, any major economy, will have a ripple effect in almost all the other countries, all trading partners. Okay, so that we are seeing now. So something is happening in Iran, right? Because of which other countries are drawn into. See, our relationship with Iran has been for ages, but our dependence on Iran for trade has reduced over the years. Significant reduction has happened. We don't trade much with Iran, barring oil, right, and certain other items. We don't trade much with Iran. So actually, the impact on us should have been lesser, but impact is more only. Why is it more? Because other countries are drawn into war, but we are trading with other countries more. The world is a global village today, right? It is too integrated. Something happens in some country, it is going to have one or the other effect on the other country. There's no doubt about it. So pretty much the same thing happened in 2008 as well. What happened here? So in USA, 2004-5, what was happening? 2004-5. There were multiple reports which said that in the coming years, real estate prices will go up. Okay, in the coming years, real estate prices will go up. Okay, tell me, bank will run better if they give more loans or if they give less loans? More loans if they give, they'll be able to earn more interest. So reports came in that 2007, 8, 9 will be boom years. Boom years, real estate will be, the prices will be very high. Keeping this in mind, starting from 2004-5, the banks in USA started giving loans to people. They give loans to prime customers. It is fine. But they went behind almost every type of customer. You don't worry, I'll give the loan. Take it. Sir, credit score is, don't worry, you take it. Why? You take it, when the prices go up, obviously you will be able to pay back. We know. Right? So 2004-5, they started lending recklessly for mostly real estate. When I say real estate, it is to purchase houses in USA. Now, everybody got the loan. They bought real estate here and there. And now 2007-8 came closer. There were no signs of what? Real estate picking up. Real estate prices had almost stagnated. Now, when real estate prices stagnated, all the customers who had taken loans, will they pay back? Will they pay back? See, prime customers will pay back, but majority of the customers were subprime. They started defaulting. Defaulting who? The subprime customers. We are talking about the year 2007-8 by this time. They started defaulting. When they started defaulting by 2007-8, what did the banks do? Banks are like, they saw it. Now this is happening. What should we do now? What should they do? Is there any solution to them? Even if they auction the land, they'll not get anything. Why don't they get anything? The prices, they have stagnated, they are going down. What should they do? Is there anything they can do? Nothing. So already they have lent it. Now the banks started seeing losses. Financial losses were very, very clear. The moment they saw the losses, what they did is they started seeking investments into their banks from every possible place. How? They started issuing what are known as bonds. In the bank name, they started issuing bonds. That is, bank is going to borrow, right? From whom? Whosoever is ready to invest. They're not disclosing all this. We are going to face losses. They're not disclosing. They're just saying, at good interest rate, we are going to give some what? Bonds. You lend us the money, we'll give you bonds. After 10 years, you can take it. Right? Till that point, we'll pay interest. So they brought in such a model. So once they started taking this money, the investments into bonds came from all over the world. Especially Europe. European banks invested. In the bonds of which banks? In the bonds of US banks. Right? It's like USA bank is borrowing from the European bank. Clear? Now, they were thinking nothing will happen. Some losses will be there. We'll be able to ride over the losses. But then, this was not disclosed. What was not disclosed? Will face losses. This was not disclosed. Now, one of the banks found it really difficult to manage this. Those were the Lehman Brothers. The bank name is Lehman Brothers. They came out and openly said, this is what is happening. The moment they came out and openly told that this is what is happening, the trust in the banking system vanished just like that. All the people who had made the deposits in the banks, they were like, these people, these banks are going to go into loss. What will happen to my money? They started withdrawing the money. Once they start withdrawing the money, when the stock markets also know, when the investors know, what will they do? If I've invested in the shares of this bank, they will also start withdrawing. The valuation of the banks go down. The money which is kept in the banks by the people, they also start withdrawing. They will go into further losses. When the banking system collapses, which means there are no institutions to give loans also to make further investments. When there are no investments, what would it means? No new jobs. No new jobs, no income. No income means no demand. No demand means, again, no need to produce. Vicious cycle. And because of the investment made by other countries' banks, they also started facing the losses in this period. Whereas in India was kind of insulated to this. India did not face any problem. Not much of a problem, however. Why? The Indian banking system was not allowed to make investment. The RBI had clearly told you're not supposed to make investment in such bonds or such instruments. We call them as instruments. You're not supposed to make investment in such instruments. Because of this, Indian banking industry was saved. Right? Sir, was there no recession in India then? Was there no recession in India? Was it there or was it not? It was not there in India. What we faced was a milder version of recession, which we call it as a slowdown. India never faced a recession. What we faced was a slowdown. So then people lost jobs during that time. People who lost jobs during that time are the people who are employed by a foreign company. Those are the people who mostly lost jobs. Indian companies who are highly dependent on foreign companies. Those people in such companies lost the jobs. Not the people in Indian companies per se. Understood? What is this? This is the Great Recession or the subprime crisis. Again, to come out of this problem, what should USA do? Again, pump money. How pump money? Same, fiscal stimulus, I told you. Right? From then on, who should be regulated? Well, the bank should be regulated much, much in a much better way. That is what USA also started. Clear? Yes. We'll again revisit this in your business cycle chapter. Why? Because this holds the key. These two concepts, these two things, the Great Depression and the recession, these two hold key. Okay, we have to revisit again. So by then we will have learned about GDP and everything. It becomes easier to understand that. Okay. Next is sectors of the economy. Sectors of the economy. See, in our circular flow of income, we saw 4 sectors. That is one way of looking at sectors. Income flow happens through those sectors. But there is another way of classifying the economy into sectors. It is based on activity. Based on the activities, we have sectors. What are the sectors you know of? Primary sector, secondary sector, tertiary sector, yes, quaternary sector, quinary sector. Primary, secondary, quaternary, primary, secondary, tertiary, quaternary, and quinary. But in your economic survey, all the activities are classified only till here, only till tertiary. So what about quaternary sector and quinary sector? In economic circles, people speak about this, right? In discussions, economic discussions, we have quaternary sector and quinary sector. But in the government documents, the classification is only till here. What they do is, in fact, both quaternary and quinary are a part of tertiary. Both of them. They are part of tertiary. So what is this primary sector? We'll start with primary sector. This is also called the agriculture sector, but it does not involve only agriculture. Also called agriculture sector, but not agriculture only is there. Many other activities are there. The simple meaning of primary sector is this. If we extract something from the natural resources, or if we extract something from the nature directly, it is primary sector. All the activities that involve extraction of goods directly from the nature and natural resources is what? Primary sector. Agriculture, directly from the natural resource you are getting, right? So examples of this is about extraction directly from nature or natural resource. So raw materials extraction directly from the nature. Example is agriculture, forestry, fishing, animal husbandry, mining, quarrying, what is mining? So you dig the earth to get the minerals, right? Minerals and ores. What is quarrying? You break the hills, right, in order to extract the minerals. Mining and quarrying. So you're directly getting it from where? Nature. Okay. Secondary sector. Secondary sector. What is secondary sector about? Whatever stuff we got from primary sector, if we transform that, transformation of goods extracted from primary sector into another form. So here what is that? Raw materials are converted into some other form, right? Raw materials converted into finished products. This involves what? Manufacture and construction. Secondary sector is mostly about manufacturing and construction. So raw material you get, say for example, you get mango. You grow mango. Mango is what? Primary sector. After you get the mango, you make it into pickle. What is it now? Secondary sector. That's it. Right? Tertiary sector. So that is why secondary sector is also called manufacturing sector. Tertiary sector, this is a service sector. The aim of tertiary sector is to facilitate the primary and secondary sector. To support the functioning of primary and secondary sector, you need the tertiary sector. Are goods produced in tertiary sector? No, services only. Only services are produced, and these services are what? They usually help, they support the functioning of the first two sectors, right? For example, transportation. Without transportation, transportation is what? Is it primary, secondary, or tertiary? Tertiary. Without transportation, you tell me agriculture and manufacturing is possible? It's not possible. It becomes almost useless. Understood? Without communication, can the primary and secondary sector be efficient? It can't be. Telecommunication. Telecommunication, is it in primary, secondary, or tertiary? Tertiary sector. Phone is secondary. Network, tertiary. Done? Okay. Quaternary sector. This is the one which is related to knowledge and skill. Knowledge and skill based activities fall into quaternary sector. Intellectual activities fall into this sector. This is a sector which is more about information and research and development, R&D. It is this sector, knowledge, intellectual. Into this sector falls all your professions. Lawyers, doctors, teachers, all of them fall into this sector. It is knowledge based, intellect based. But economic survey everywhere, where do you find these? They are here. Clear? This is quaternary sector. And finally, we have the quinary sector. The activities here are mostly high level decision making. High level decision making activities. High level decision making as in ministers, high level bureaucrats, CEOs, these people. Their activities fall into what? Quinary sector. So CEO, directors, high level bureaucrats, ministers, all of them fall here. Their activities. It is decision making. Where is this? This is also in tertiary sector. Okay. Now, tell me. For our understanding, we have known these two things, but most of the time we will be talking about primary, secondary, tertiary. Tell me, in India, majority of the people are working in which of the three sectors? 1, 2, 3. Primary, secondary, or tertiary? Primary. Most of the people are dependent on which sector? Primary sector. What percentage? 60%, 50%, 75%. Okay, tell me this. How many people are in rural areas? How many people are in urban areas in India? A simple question. Rough estimate. It is 33% are in urban area. Remaining 67% are in rural area. Now, dependence on agriculture or dependence on primary sector. What percentage of people? Huh? How is it possible? It's not possible, no? Not every person living in rural area will be dependent on what? Agriculture only. Yes? Presently, 45% of the people okay, 45% of workforce or people are dependent on agriculture or primary sector. Right. What about secondary sector? Somewhere around what percent? So we are left with 55% still. Roughly what percent can you say? Somewhere around 25% people are around 25%. Remaining what percentage? 30%, right? Remaining 30% are. See, this is about workforce, number of people employed there. Now we will check. See, all these activities involve money or not? All these activities lead to production of goods or services. For everything, there is a value. Correct? How much value do they produce overall? So in primary sector, they are producing various types of vegetables, fruits, flowers, right? And then you have minerals, everything is being produced. And here you have what? Various types of goods being produced, buildings being built, everything. And here it is services, proper services. So IT job, BT job, all those. There are salaries. That itself is the value. Now, how much value is being produced by this? What percentage? What percentage? 15%. The total value of goods and service goods produced by which sector? The primary sector is only 15%. Which means this 15% should be divided amongst how many people? 45% of the people. Correct? What is the next one? Manufacturing or secondary sector. There you have around 28-29% of the people, 28-29% of what? Value of goods is being produced where? In the secondary sector. So that has to be divided between 25% of the people. They are fine only. How much is it? 30, 45 ho gaya. Let's say 55, 56%. Where is it? Now can you understand why people who are doing farming are poorer? Yes. Why people who work in IT, BT, they are generally having a better lifestyle? Because the value for what work they are doing is higher. Here, it is less. Now, what is the solution to this? What is the solution to this? Let's see if you will be able to provide a solution to this. What is the solution to this? Reduce the number of people in where? Primary sector. Where should we move them? Split them between secondary and tertiary. Now, where is it easier to move them? It is easier to move them to the secondary sector. It's a bit more difficult to move them to the tertiary sector. Correct? If I want to move these people to the secondary sector, what should I do? Increase more manufacturing, right? We should have more manufacturing units. What type of manufacturing unit should we have? Small, micro, medium enterprises, which employ more people. That is why we have to give a push to it, so that it can pull people out of agriculture. Right? Sir, why can't we have them here in this sector? What is it dependent on? Tertiary sector is mostly dependent on skill. Right? High skill is required. In most of the cases, high skill is required. Okay. So that is why it is difficult to employ a lot of people from where? From any sector in this sector. Right? This holds the key for India. And especially micro, small, and medium enterprises. These hold the key. Done? Clear? Okay. From, yes. Let's assume we move people and we cut it out the same. Some of the people from here can be upskilled to move to this sector. Right? They can be upskilled to move to this sector. Not entirely. Potential is there here. A lot of potential is there. India relies heavily on manufacturing items, imports that can be produced within India. For example, you have Make in India, right? The idea was to give push to this itself, manufacturing sector itself, right? So the outcomes have not been promising, but the aim was this itself. The objective was this itself. Clear? So let's assume that the plan is to shift the 45% out. Then everyone will be either itself practically. Now, presently, this was a wonderful question. So I'll bring one more concept here. Because the question has come up, I'll bring one more. I have, with 1 acre of land, I'll be able to produce 100 kilograms or 100 bags of rice. I can produce it. To do this, I need 2 people. 2 people are sufficient. But presently, there are 5 people. Sir, then 3 people are not doing anything. Now, all 5 people are working. 2 people's work, 5 people are doing. Getting my point? Now, 2 plus 3. 2 people's work, 3 more people are sharing. Right? If I remove these 3 people, will 100 bags become 90 bags or 50 bags? No. 100 bags will remain still 100 bags. Then what are these 3 people doing there? They are not getting opportunities to move out from there. If we create opportunities, they'll be able to move out. The production will still not go.
Then what about the increasing population? Because the population is...
See, now tell me, you tell me, has there been any shortage for you for fruits, vegetables?
That is what being because the production of milk, take as an example, the production of original milk in the whole world is not sufficient for the whole world. So this is where the all the other factors like chemical mixation and everything are being gone.
See, they are mixing the chemicals because in order to increase what? Increase their profits. Production has not gone down.
But still the production of milk isn't sufficient to supply it to
See, not the whole world. We are talking about only India. Right? We are talking only about India. We have sufficient milk for our population. See, it's impossible for us to produce enough milk for the whole world. For India, it is sufficient. Almost everything, every food product that is required for Indians, we have sufficient. Now, the only question is, we are not able to push people out of here. You know what is happening with this? The productivity is also not increasing. As long as I have 5 people here, will I go for mechanization? I'll not even mechanize the farms. Why will I not mechanize? I have people, no? Why should I mechanize? We stick to the traditional ways of agriculture just because we have more people there. The moment they start moving out, they get opportunities and they start moving out. What will happen? Automatically, mechanization will also be adopted. Now, the question is whether we will be able to produce more when all these people move out. Just take the example of other countries. Other countries, much bigger countries, population is lesser only, but how many people are employed in agriculture in order to produce for their population? Say, for example, USA. If 2% people are in agriculture, they are able to produce enough for the entire economy. How? Mechanization. Understood? We are sticking to traditional form of agriculture just because of what? Lack of opportunities. The moment they are able to shift to other sector, automatically mechanization will get adopted. Productivity will not. Production will not. In fact, you can check this. When India got independence, how many people were in agriculture? What percentage of population was in agriculture? 75 to 80% of the people were in agriculture. Ever since independence, has the population increased or not? Increased kind of exponentially. It has been increasing. And has there been shortage of food for India since independence? Yes, it was there till 1967. After 1967, we are not facing any food shortage despite people moving out of agriculture continuously. 75 से अभी 45 हुआ है. What was 75% of the people in agriculture has become 45%. Clear? So the solutions are what? This moving people out of one sector to another. There was one more significant shift that happened in these sectors. One major shift was 75% of people who were dependent on agriculture. It has come down to 45% since independence. This is one thing. Another major shift that happened was related to tertiary sector. What is tertiary sector? Service sector. Till 1991, India's economic landscape sectors, if we looked at, mostly it was agriculture, that is primary sector, and secondary sector. Tertiary sector was very, very minimal. Just think about it, very minimal. Like it contributed to what? 8-10% of the entire economy. The value of the economy, when you look at it, it contributed to only what? 8-10%. After 1991, what is the share now? 55-56%. It has increased so much just after 1991. How did it increase so much? Because of LPG reforms. There were reforms called as LPG, liberalization, privatization, and globalization. Because of that. So that you will be learning in the planning chapter. Okay. Fine. This is about the sectors. For now, this much you know. 5 sectors, and people dependent on each sector we know, and how much does each sector contribute to overall economy. What is the value of each sector in the economy, percentage? This much we know. Primary sector, what is the number of people? What is the proportion of people dependent on it? 45%. Secondary sector, 25%. Tertiary sector, 30%. What is the contribution to the economy value? 15%, 29-30%, 55%. This is all we need to. You remember broad numbers. Remember, you need not know the exact numbers. Always remember the broad numbers. If somebody gives you a number, if you have a number like 53.5, remember it as 55. It's fine. No problem. No exact numbers are required. Even when you write the answers, you can mention as what? Around 55%. Above 50%. It's acceptable. If you give a perfect number, it is good. But if you feel doubtful about the number, a bit doubtful, at least know the broader number. Right? It is okay. And in the prelims examination, you need not worry. They will never ask close numbers until and unless it is state PCS. If it is a state level examination, they ask very perfect numbers. How perfect numbers? 52.6, 52.7, 52.8, 52.9. Which one is correct? It is very difficult. Okay. That is why the nature of state PCS is mostly factual. UPSC is more analytical. Okay. Concept oriented. Okay. What is the next thing we have to discuss? Okay, of these 5 sectors, which is a real sector? Which is the real sector? What is the real sector? Real sector is the one which actually produces things which are real. Only primary. Secondary also is real only. Right? Basically goods sectors. The goods sector is real sector. There was a question on it. In 2022. Okay, it was a prelims question. So the question was very straightforward. You tell me the answers. Which of the following activities constitute? You can check these questions in your portal, right? In your portal, after the chapters are completed, you are going to get the PYQ section. You can check there. So for now, I'll just tell you. Which of the following activities constitute a real sector in the economy? Okay. Option 1, farmers harvesting their crops. Farmers harvesting their crops. 2, textile mills converting raw cotton into fabrics. 3, a commercial bank lending money. 4, a corporate body issuing rupee denominated bonds overseas. 1 and 2. What about 3? Bank lending money, service. What is the fourth one? Investment, it is service. Khatam. This was 2022 question. Okay. Okay, there is one more question. Let's see if you will be able to answer this. 2024 question it is. Okay. Matching pairs. Storage of agriculture produce. This is the first option. Storage of agri produce. Okay. It is given as storage of agri produce. It is given as secondary sector. Then you have dairy farm, primary sector. And then you have third one, which is mineral exploration, tertiary. Mineral exploration, tertiary. And fourthly, textile production. I think it is given as secondary, or weaving clothes, cloth weaving, textile production. Which of them are matched correctly? Think and tell. The options, how they have given the options. How many of the following pairs are matched correctly? What is the question? How many of the following pairs are matched correctly? You just have to tell. Only one pair is matched correctly. Only 2 pairs are matched correctly. Only 3 pairs are matched correctly. All pairs are matched correctly. Dairy farm. Dairy farm is what? Dairy farm में क्या करते हैं? You produce milk. Rear cattle produce milk. That's all. After that, it becomes processing. Yes, that becomes secondary. Okay, we'll see the first one. Storage of agriculture produce. What is it? Storage. Okay. Secondary. How is it secondary? Okay, tomato. Wait a second. Now I got tomato. Where did I get the tomato from? Farm. Now is it natural? Yes. Now, did I cut the tomato and do something to it? Then it is not secondary. I did not transform it. Now the thing is, this particular thing, right? What am I doing with it? What is the activity I am doing? I am storing it, right? Storing it. Did I do anything with the tomato, or why is it I am storing? Am I paying for storing? Yes. For storage, you have to pay, right? Now, this particular work, did it add any value to the tomato? No, you just stored it. Is it a service? It's a service. Any day, storage, logistics, transportation, this is all services. Because you are not producing anything. It's just tangible. On the other hand, storage building, secondary, construction, it becomes secondary. Now, the first one, of course, it is not matched. Second one, dairy farm, very clear. And what about mineral exploration, tertiary sector? Mineral exploration, you are digging, right? Primary, is it matched correctly? No. Textile production, cotton production, if it was there, it would have become primary, right? So what is the answer for this? Only 2 pairs are matched. That's it. Clear? Done. Next. See, such simple questions come. But it can be confusing there. In the exam, it can be confusing. See, when you sit down and apply logic, it's easy to get an answer. But when you overthink, that is why always trust your instincts in pre-exam. What is trusting instincts? It's like, I know my concepts are clear. I clearly understand what primary sector is, what secondary sector is, what tertiary sector is. I see the options. The moment I feel this is the answer, right, I will mark it. Yes? But activity is what? You have to dig. Right? All right. Next. We have not discussed about the different types of goods yet, right? Not yet. Did we mention anything in this chapter? Did I say anything else will be covered in this chapter? No, nothing else, only this much. Okay, now we will go to the next chapter. This is the first chapter. It's just an introduction and basics. Now we will go to the most important chapter where many questions have come over the years. That chapter is National Income Accounting. Pay maximum attention to this chapter. Maximum. This is going to be the key to everything you learn in Indian economy. Almost every year you get a question in this. Almost every year from this chapter. National Income Accounting. NI, national income. NI, national income. You can define it in 2 ways. When I say national income, it is in 2 ways. One, it can be about all the factor incomes if I add of all the people who are normal residents of this country. All the factor incomes. Remember factor incomes? What are the factors of production? Land, labor, capital, entrepreneurship. People are engaging in these activities and they are getting some incomes. If I add all these income, I'll get national income. This is one way, right? So by adding incomes of factors of production, this is one way. Or there is one more way. What is the other way? What is the other way? What are we producing? Goods and services. If I add the values of all the goods and services also, that is also fine. So aggregate value of all final goods and services. Okay. Final goods and services. Okay. Final goods and services produced by whom? Produced by normal residents. Produced by whom? Normal residents. Who are these normal residents? Who are normal residents? It is not citizens who are normally residing in India. Normally residing means, sir, abnormally who is residing? Normally residing means now a very important distinction. We have embassies, consulates in other countries. Okay. They are in other country. The people in that embassy who are working there, are they staying in India or are they staying in foreign country? They are staying in India. This is very, very important. People who work in embassies, consulates, despite them working in another country, they are considered to be working in India. Yeah, this is first thing you have to remember. So normal residents means all the citizens within India, citizens who are living in India. 2, citizens who are living in India. 2, people in embassies who work in embassies, Indian embassies, consulates in the foreign country. Done. They are also normal residents, because the rule is that though embassy is located in the geography of another country, that area is considered to be Indian territory there. Foreign countries' embassy is in India. That piece of land is something which is not Indian. It is for all purposes considered to be what? Foreign. Indian laws do not apply there. For that piece of land, Indian laws do not apply. Clear? Who else? Any person who lives in your country for more than 1 year. Foreign citizens also is fine. Foreign citizen, but living in India for more than 1 year continuously. But here, 2 categories of people do not qualify. Who are the 2 categories? People who have come for medical purpose, people who have come for education. Even if they are living for more than 1 year, we don't consider them as normal residents. Clear? These are the exceptions. Now, do you understand who are normal residents? Clear? So, adding the incomes of factors of production of all normal residents, or aggregate value of all final goods and services produced by normal residents. Either one of them. This is what national income is broadly. Right. Now we will start our discussion related to the numbers. Rather than numbers, I will say, how do we measure this? How do we measure national income? What are the different ways of measuring national income? In order to start that discussion, we have to know certain basics. We'll go step by step because it can get very, very confusing if I start with the numbers itself. Okay, the first thing we are going to learn is the factors of production. We already clearly know what factors of production are. Do we know what are the factors of production? The costs involved in to produce something, to run these factors of production, we call it as what? Factor costs. For some it is factor costs, For some others, it is what? The other side, it is factor income, right? So it is factor cost or factor income. What are the factor costs and factor incomes? Tell me. Rent, wages, interest, profit. These you need to remember. For all purposes, what did I tell you? For all purposes, economic activities in India are considered to be primary, secondary, and tertiary, right? Quaternary and quinary is for discussions. For economic discussions, we use quaternary and quinary. For all other purposes, we say it is primary, secondary, tertiary. This also you need to remember. Domestic territory, domestic or economic territory. What is a domestic or a economic territory? What does it mean? The territory administered by the government of India. That is domestic or economic territory. The geographical territory administered by the government of India. Do we include foreign embassies in this? In domestic territory? No, it is not our territory. Remember, it does not include foreign embassies. Foreign embassies located in India is not included. Obviously, it should be excluded. Foreign military establishments in India, not included. Foreign bases, foreign military bases, that also is not included in this. We have to exclude it. International organizations offices, that also excluded. So we have to exclude them. Right. And then we had a discussion about who are the normal residents. We just discussed who normal residents are. You remember who the normal residents are. Okay. Now comes the most important part for all our future discussions. Factor cost versus market price. Factor cost versus market price. What is the difference? Factor cost versus market price. Okay. Factor cost means cost at the factory gate, cost of a product at factory gate. The moment it leaves the factory gate, what will be added to it? Taxes will be added. Understood? Factor cost is factory gate cost. When I add the taxes to it, taxes on the product, it becomes market price. What is market price? The price at which you buy in the market. See, what is the value of a mobile phone at factory gate? It will be something. The moment it crosses the factory gate, government says these taxes you have to pay, and it reaches the hand of a customer. The customer pays it to the firm. The firm pays those taxes, whatever taxes are mentioned, to the government. That's it. Now, sometimes the government says taxes are this much, but because this product is very good, I'll give some subsidy. If subsidy is provided, I have to subtract or should I add? Minus subsidies will be your market price, so that the end customer will be able to buy it at a lower price. Understood? Clear? Yes. Taxes minus subsidies. These subsidies can be zero also, right? But our formula is, what is the formula now? Market price is equal to factor cost plus taxes minus subsidies. This is our formula. This is our formula. Clear? What type of taxes are these? Are these the taxes which you are paying on your income, or are these the taxes which you are paying on a product? We are talking only about products. So, is it a direct tax or an indirect tax? What is a direct tax? What is the indirect tax? Income tax and corporate tax. How is it we make this distinction? So that is income tax. Now, why do we call it direct tax? Okay. See, we call this as incidence of tax, right? Incidence of tax and impact of tax. In taxation chapter, you'll be learning. It's just that the imposition of the tax is on someone, and that person is not paying the tax to the government. Someone else is paying it to the government. In direct tax, tax is imposed on you. You pay directly to the government. In indirect tax, the tax is on the product. You pay for the product to the firm, but firm pays it to the government. Are you paying directly from your hand to the government? No, you are paying it to the firm. The firm is paying that. That is why it is indirect. Getting my point? Do you ever pay? You buy something. You buy a fridge. Tax is 18% tax. 18% of 1 lakh rupees, let's say 18,000 rupees. You take this 18,000 rupees. See, I'll pay only 82,000 rupees here. 18,000 rupees, I'll pay it to the government directly. Do you say that? No. What does this mean? It's an indirect tax. Indirectly, you are paying. Clear? Now, these taxes, can I call it as indirect taxes now? Can I safely call it as indirect taxes? Yes. Because it is on product. So our market prices are equal to factor costs plus indirect taxes minus subsidies, if there are any. This is the meaning. Now, sometimes we can split these indirect taxes and subsidies into two parts: production level and product level. Subsidies also production level and product level. Production level taxes and product level taxes. What is the difference? What is the difference? Say for example, I am running a particular facility to produce some goods. The tax is imposed on the entire facility, not on a product. Right? On the entire facility, for this production to happen, I pay some tax to the government. What is this tax? This is a production tax. It is not on a product. It's on the entire production. What sort of a tax is this? Production tax. Because you are doing such a production, it is helpful for people as well. The government is like, I'll give some subsidy. What is this subsidy now? Production subsidy. This is not for the product. It is for the entire production. So production subsidy comes in the form of, if you are doing such and such manufacturing, such goods if you are producing, the government says, in your electricity bill, we'll cut, you need not pay this much electricity bill, I'll reduce the electricity bill. For your company, I'll reduce the electricity. Why am I reducing the electricity bill for you? Because you are engaging in production of certain products which are useful for the community. That is why I'll give you some subsidy in electricity bill. Is it on a product it is being given, the subsidy? Entire production. What is this known as? Production subsidy. Clear? So indirect taxes can be production level or product level. Subsidies also can be production level or product level. Clear? Now, why did I tell this? It's because I want to introduce one more concept. Between market prices and factor costs, there is one more called as basic prices. Clear? Now, what are basic prices? Basic prices are equal to factor costs. Remember factor costs? Yes. Plus production taxes minus production subsidies. Getting my point? Now, the next step, this is basic prices. What are market prices? Market prices are equal to basic prices, or simply put, factor costs plus production taxes minus production subsidies plus product taxes minus product subsidies. That's it. Clear? Now this entire thing, look at this part is what? Basic prices. That's it. Can I write it this way? MP is equal to BP plus product taxes minus product subsidies. Can we write it? That's it. Understood? All I did was the same understanding. I have just broken down into smaller pieces. It was just market prices is equal to factor cost plus indirect taxes minus subsidy. That's all I had written. What did I do? I divided the indirect taxes into production level and product level. Subsidies also to production level and product level. And I introduced a new thing called basic prices. Basic prices has production taxes and production subsidies. Product tax and product subsidies, if I add, what happens? We get the MP. Clear? Done? A very, very important distinction. What I have written? A very, very important distinction. Yeah. Okay. Shall we move forward? I'll tell you. I'll come there. Why did we do this? We'll come there. See, all of this is base work. We have not touched GDP yet. Right? In order to go to GDP, we are doing all these things. Okay. Next. Next is, when we speak of goods, there are different types of goods. Intermediate goods, final goods, capital goods. Intermediate, final, capital. The goods that we use to produce other goods, intermediate goods. Okay. The goods which are in the end use are our final goods. Right? The goods which are consumed in the line of production to produce the final good are intermediate goods. In the line of production to produce another good, if it is consumed, then we say it is intermediate good. Then it becomes a final good. Final good, it is ready for consumption. Final good is the one which is ready for consumption. What is a capital good? Which is not consumed but used in multiple cycles of production. Then we say it is a capital. Understood? It is not consumed. Its life does not end in that one cycle. Is there consumption of it? To some extent, there is consumption. Right? However, it does not get over in one cycle. When I say consumption, it is not used up. Rather, this is like, what is this? This is machinery. Is it consumed? Consumption does not happen. Instead of consumption, what happens? Wear and tear happens. Wear and tear. Is it necessary for production? Absolutely yes. To produce a product, we need capital. Clear? These are the different types of goods. Based on this concept, based on intermediate goods, final goods, and capital goods. We also call capital as fixed capital. The other type of capital is working capital. What is working capital? The cost involved in keeping the business running. Basically, it is financial. Okay. Production level taxes are paid by whom? Manufacturer. But at the end of the day, you have to pay it. On a product, you will be paying. So how it is calculated? Say, for example, I am producing 100 bottles of water. To produce 100 bottles of water, I don't care whether you are producing 100 or 1000. Government is like, because you are running this water bottle factory, pay me what? 10,000 rupees as tax. This is production level tax. After that, per bottle, you have to pay how much? Maybe the government has imposed 10% on it. 10% per bottle means, let's say 1 rupee per bottle. 10% on the value of the bottle. So water bottle cost is 20 rupees. So 2 rupees per bottle you have to pay as tax. 22 rupees it becomes. So how many bottles? 2 into 100. Here 200 rupees. Overall, how did I get 20 rupees value? Based on adding this 10,000 rupees divided across bottles. How many bottles I have produced in this month or this year? I have divided this 10,000 on those bottles. Wages I added, profits I added, everything I added. It came to some number. Along with that, I added this number as well, right? Now, after deciding this much profit I need, per bottle 20 rupees it was decided. After deciding 20 rupees, when I bring the product out, government says 10% more you have to pay. For what? For the product. Overall now 22 rupees it is. Who will pay this? Consumer pays 22 rupees. Now government thinks 22 rupees is too much. 2 rupees I'll give subsidy. Right? 2 rupees government can give a subsidy. So then it becomes what? Minus 2 20 rupees. All this money goes into the hands of whom first? To the firm. The firm will pay whatever the tax amount is there to the government. That's all. Okay. Now, this much is done. Gross and net. What is the difference? Gross value and net value. Gross and net. So in terms of value of production, right? Very simple way of putting it is, I have produced some goods. What is the value of these goods? I say the value of these goods is 100 rupees. This is the gross value of the goods. But actually, when I produce this 100 rupees value of goods, worth of goods, I used up the machinery as well. I did not consider it all along. Machine I have used, because of which machine wear and tear has happened. This I have not considered. Is it not a loss of fixed capital? When I subtract that loss due to wear and tear in my fixed capital, what do I get? Net is equal to gross minus depreciation of my fixed capital. That is your net. Net value of a good is this. Actual value is this. There is gross value of your product. There is a net value of your product as well. Actual value should include what? The loss that has happened due to wear and tear. Clear? Done. Next. Net factor income from abroad. NFIA. Net factor income from abroad. Net means something minus something. Net means something minus something. That is net. Gross means overall. What is this net about? The factor incomes. This is equal to factor incomes earned by normal residents of India, who are temporarily residents abroad. Temporarily residents abroad. Minus factor incomes earned by non-residents temporarily residing in India. Right. So some of the normal residents of India have gone to other country. They are earning something, right? They are residents there for now. Clear? They are earning some factor incomes. That minus, there are some people who are normal residents of other country. They have come here and they are earning something. Ours minus theirs. That is your net factor income from abroad. Now, so far we have understood certain things. What is the first thing? Factor cost, basic prices, and market prices. Next, goods, different types of goods we learned. There we learned gross and net. Gross, net means gross minus depreciation. This we learned, wear and tear of machinery. What is the next thing we learned? Net factor income from abroad. These three we have learned. The last one that we need to learn before we go to GDP is current prices and constant prices. Current prices and constant prices. Current prices are nothing but comparison on the basis of the values of that year. Basis of values of that year. Constant prices means comparison of values on the basis of a base year. Comparison on the basis of a base year. Comparison of the values on the basis of a base year. I'll give you a very simple example. Okay. The value of a particular good, right? A value of a particular good in 2020 was rupees 50. 2021, the product became rupees 55. 2022, it became rupees 60. This is the value of the product. I just compare them. These are the values of the products of which year? Now, let's add quantity as well. Let's add some quantity as well. 10 products this year. 12 products this year. 9 products this year. Tell me the values. What is the total value of the goods produced? 500. 500 plus 5 2s are 10. How much is it? 660. Are you sure? Are you sure? No? Pakka? Pakka? Yes? 5 4. Now, these are the values we have got. Now, I can do one more thing now. This is what based on the current values of that year I have calculated. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to select one year as a base year. I'll select 2020 as a base year. Okay. All I do is I'll take 2020 as a base year. When I select 2020 as a base year, what is the value of the product in that base year? 50 rupees. This is the value of the product in the base year. Now, what is the value of the entire production in base year? It is going to remain the same. It will remain the same. Next year, what will I do? I have to consider the value of the base year. What is the base year value? 50, which means I should not consider 55. I should consider 50. 12 into 50. How much is it? Here again, how much is it? Clear? Done. Whatever values you got here, these are all nominal values. Those are all nominal values. Look at this. The value has increased. From here to here, value increased. Compared to 10 products, there were only 9 products. Still, the value has increased. Has real production increased? Then what has increased? Only the prices have increased. In order to remove the effect of prices, what did we do? We fixed the price at 1 year. When we fix the price at 1 year, what will happen? Any increase in the value will be only due to increase in production. That will be the real growth. That is why these numbers are what numbers? Real numbers. Yes. 500, 660, 540. What you see is 10 products have been produced, 500 value, 9 products produced, but still 540. This is the increase. Has the production increased? No. Without the increase of production, the value has increased. Right? Is this real? It is not real. Without the product, the flow is cut. No. For now, we'll change the base year. Don't worry. In the example, it is 2020. Right? So base year also gets changed every now and then. For various things, we use the base year. Right? Presently, I think it is 23, 24. Right? 24 is the base year as of now. Base year is the year that you set as a constant. The values will be taken as what? Of that year will be constant for all the years to come. Why do we do it? Just because of that problem. Otherwise, you feel like the prices are increasing. You think that everything, the value is also increasing of our economy. But actually, the value will not be increasing. Right?